This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness. GYMGUYZ, Woman Warriors, and welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and I am here to wish you a very happy new year for 2025. Super excited for what is to come. And as always, we appreciate you listening in. I am here today with my fabulous co-host,
Prajna Mandavi. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes. And we have a phenomenal guest today right out of the gate for the new year because everybody is all about transforming their physical bodies in the new year. But we have Ms. Nicole Vincent here. Thank you.
Hi.
We're so happy that you came here today. Nicole is here from GYMGUYZ, which you are going to hear everything about today. So we are super excited. Hope that all of you listened to our final episode in 2024 talking about setting goals and not resolutions. Mm-hmm. So we are going to move forward with setting goals beginning today and excited that all of you are coming along with us. So gals, here we are, 2025. Can't believe it. I feel like I'm just getting older and older and older.
State of mind, baby.
That's right. That's right. We don't get older, we get better, right? It's like a fine wine. So this year, Praj and I, we have chatted about what we want our theme to be for 2025. And we are always all about living a life of purpose. And we're actually super excited that Nicole is our first guest today because she herself, through GYMGUYZ, is living a life of purpose. And we'll get more into detail about that in a short while. But we have decided that we are going to add on the 5 bodies or the 5 koshas from an Ayurvedic perspective. Now, I know a lot of you have heard us talk about these over the past year. And we're super happy that you're getting more and more educated in the Vedic sciences. But we're really going to drill down into these 5 koshas this year. And we've decided that about 4 or 5 episodes each kosha this year will be dedicated to having a great guest on board that can talk a little bit more about that. And we can become very practical with how those 5 bodies are landing with all of you and to give you some education around it. So we have, just as a review, we have our physical body, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is the Annamaya kosha. Then we will move into the Pranamaya kosha, our energetic body, the Manomaya kosha, our mental emotional state. Then the Vijnanamaya kosha, which is always the hardest one to pronounce, but about your state of intuition. And cultivating our intuition, especially as women, we tend to put intuition aside, thinking that it doesn't have any value, which actually is the most valuable part of our whole 5-body system. And then finally, our Anandamaya kosha, our spiritual body. But today, we are going to focus on the Annamaya kosha with our fabulous guest and entering 2025. So, Praj, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Okay. So as always, we do our wellness check-in.
Yes.
So the wellness check-in is looking at how we are doing for either the week, the month, through the 5 koshas. So how we're doing physically, energetically. So for example, my physical body.
Yes, start with yourself.
Yeah. So my physical body today, right now, kind of fighting off a little something that's been going around. Again.
Do you feel fatigued?
Yes.
Okay, so you feel an immunity dip.
Yes.
Okay.
Could be all the working out that I've been doing last week.
Well, because you've been just killing it since you've been off on vacation.
I have been. I'm like, I have all this time in my hands, so I guess I'm going to work out.
I guess we're going to lift.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, and then also the country line dancing that I tried the other night. There's a lot of people there.
Share. Please share. Folks, I am going to try to find the TikTok video.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So apparently she and our friend Holly Kerrigan, shout out girl, woohoo, went line dancing, country line dancing, of which, for the record, you will never see me do that. Okay? For the record, okay, they're trying to rope me into it, but they went country line dancing, and there's TikTok video out there. I'm going to find it.
Yeah.
We are going to post it up on the social, so stay tuned, friends.
Yeah, I believe it was dirt road dancing, which is, they do a lot of stuff in the community. And so
Dirt road dancing. Who, what is that?
that's the company that was doing the dance lessons and had the TikTok video. So
okay. Oh, so the place that you went to, the barn, is that what
the
you call it?
farm?
The farm. Okay. The farm.
Off of Glenwood.
It's not their people.
No, this is a separate company that comes in and does the dance lessons. I think the farm is just kind of the venue.
Got it.
And then dirt road dancing comes in, and it had he had the camera on himself the whole rest of the night. And then when Holly and I got in the center the front row for the last dance, which we danced a pit bull, by the way, which was actually pretty interesting.
I love it.
I was not expecting that at all.
That's awesome.
He's
But
like,
of course they put the camera on you. The two of you are like jacked.
Well, yeah, they turn it around and they're like, okay, we're going to have you guys dance this last dance. And like, they kind of put it to the side. So we're not like right in the center, but Holly and I were like, sweet.
Okay. I'm going to find this. So you're sore from it?
Yeah, pretty sore. Like just, putting pressure on the knees and putting it in different positions. And I knew I kind of would be, but I'm a little surprised at how sore I am. So, but it's great.
So fun.
I mean, that's one of my that kind of leads into the energetic body is I need to dance more. Like it's just something that brings me joy. So
I love that.
Dancing is something that I've loved my whole life. It's just when you kind of become an adult and you're not a dancer.
I know.
It's
Where do I fit in?
kind of hard to go out dancing.
Because you're not at the clubbing stage anymore.
No.
You're doing the robot when the line
Some
dancing.
people are, I guess, but
Doing the sprinkler.
Yeah. So it's just, you need those kind of appropriate avenues, I guess, to do that. So,
Well, I'll tell you, you were tearing it up in India.
I know.
Right. When we went to India a couple of years ago, I've got video. Like they just invited her and like, boom, she was on there and just doing the thing. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's just another moment where I was like, I love doing this. So I'm going to do it.
Do more of it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how we can turn this into a gym guys thing. Here.
I know. I see it.
Probably
Right?
could.
Right? A little dance,
Probably
private
could.
dances.
That's
Absolutely. Oh, no, that didn't come out well.
No.
That's not what I meant.
No private dancing.
Edit that. That's funny.
Private dance lessons, perhaps,
Yeah.
not private dances.
Yeah. So yeah. And then mentally, emotionally, I also got the wonderful experience of meeting with Christine Souza, True North Awakening.
True North Awakening.
And got some Reiki done. And so that is also energetic. But just my mentality after that, she just gave me so much confidence. And
Of which you should have already because you're already amazing. But it's nice when somebody reflects it back.
And it's just when someone reflects it and can sense it. And that leads me into the next part was she said, you are highly intuitive. Like, do you not know this? And I'm like, I think I do sense it, but I just don't. Again, I think it's sort of, I was trying to explain it to a friend using a movie, the movie Constantine, where
I don't think I've seen that
if you've
movie.
ever seen it.
No.
There's the two twins in that movie where one accepts that she's a psychic, the other one
Resists it.
And so I'm like, well, maybe it's kind of like that where people just don't, they kind of hide it. They kind of stuff it down and they don't really, because it's weird or because it.
Well, but it's because it's been labeled weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been labeled weird. And
So-
like, no, you should have a rational brain.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the movie, she says, even though she denied her skill, she became a cop. And she's like, I've always known who the bad guy is. I've always known, where to find them. And she still has that intuition in her. She just used a different avenue. So, I think about that in my teaching. I'm like, that's kind of maybe why I stay by myself, because I don't want to take on all of that energy from people. And yeah. So, and then spirituality. I'm going to get back into candle gazing and get back into particular types of meditation. That's definitely one of my main goals this year. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So good. So good.
So it's amazing when I have breaks. I have all these things. When I have a break, I have all these things that can happen.
That's right.
So
Soon it'll just be
Yeah.
everyday life.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So excited.
So
So
pretty cool.
Love it.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
Ms. Nicole.
how about you, Nicole?
Yeah.
How
Physical
are you
body.
doing? How are you
How you
doing?
feeling?
Oh, gosh, you guys just have my wheels turning about all sorts of different stuff. Oh my goodness. I am so excited for the new year and all of the change, mental, physical, emotional. You're talking about intuition. Now I'm thinking about that. I've always been super, super intuitive, but I do think we get in a rut and we tend to ignore
Absolutely.
it. Even when we know that it's there and we should listen to it, we just get, it's like survival almost sometimes. You almost have to sometimes, and then you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. It's there for a reason. Listen to it. But I have noticed that I do that, and you're making me think about it even more right now. And I cannot wait to quit my corporate job.
Yay! See, come on the show, friends, and like you cultivate your intuition, and we get you to quit your job.
Yeah. It's amazing.
In a responsible manner.
Yes.
Yes, yes. It is so scary, but my intuition has told me all along that this is what I need to do. And I'm at a place in my life where I need to just follow it and do it. And I have constantly been looking back at how toxic the environment is and the weight, mental, emotional, physical, everything that type of environment puts on you.
It's unbelievable.
And then you're right. Once you take a step back from it and you have a little free time, it really kind of soaks in and your intuition starts getting louder and louder. Oh, I can't wait to make that change. 2025 is going to kick ass.
Could not agree more.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I'm so excited for you.
So many good changes are about to happen. I can't wait. Yes.
And you just recently got back into the gym and the whole thing. Yep. How's that going?
It's kind of been a struggle over the years because with my corporate job, I travel internationally. About once a month, I'm gone for about a week or so. And it's just hard to stick to a routine when you don't have a routine and you're jet lagged all the time. It's been a constant struggle. And I'm so excited to now not have that obstacle. Now I can focus. Now I can make it part of my everyday routine and I can stick to it.
So good.
There's no more excuses. I've run out of excuses. So we're just going to do it. Yeah.
awesome.
I'm excited.
So
So
excited
great.
for you.
Yeah.
And then
Did I hear over the holiday that you also had some family, that some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
just-
too sure how much I want to get into that
Yeah.
because it's still
Okay.
very fresh.
Yeah.
But
But
yes.
there's some intuition and some
There's
emotional.
Definitely
stuff.
a lot of intuition,
Yeah.
things that happened in the beginning. You know, people ignore all the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. But for me, my intuition was strong in the beginning, and I was watching everyone else ignore the red flags. And it got worse and worse and worse. And I started acting out because I couldn't take it. Oh, and I had to just pull back, step aside, and now it's all coming back at me. And I'm realizing there might need to be a little cleanup there too,
Okay.
absolutely.
which is terrible. I don't want to do it, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a huge advocate for like cleaning house.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, this time of year is always a great time to do that.
Yes.
I'm all about like, if I get, it's like a new pair of sneakers. You know, I get a new pair of shoes, the old ones go out, et cetera. I clean out my closets. I guess the British, the day after New Year's, call it Boxing Day. So you just box things up, et cetera. But you also need to do that with things and people in your life.
Yes.
Like doing that assessment of like, okay, how is this relationship supporting me? Is it supporting me?
Exactly.
And I think we have a lot of family and societal guilt that we need to keep things going because, oh, you know, they're a blood relative, you know, they're this, that, and the other thing, you know, you've known this person for 30 years, et cetera. And like, if it's causing you stress and anxiety and all of that, it's not worth it.
it's not.
Yep.
It's really not.
And the more intimate the relationship is, the harder it is, for sure. It's not, you know, an easy pill to swallow.
For sure.
But sometimes it's got to be done in order for you to propel forward.
I agree. I'm right on the cusp. I'm hoping for some sort of miracle still, which I know is silly. Those don't happen. But
Maybe it's you doing what you need to do.
man.
Boom. You see how she just
And that
inserted,
is
like,
the miracle.
you definitely saw Christine this week. She's just like, hey, there you go. That's it. Choose you.
Yeah. And you know what? You talk about cleaning house. I just
Yeah.
want to, it reminded me last year for New Year's, I cleaned house just in my Facebook friends list.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea how much of a weight would be lifted just from deleting a couple of really annoying people. That's it. And it was amazing. I don't need that in my life.
No.
You don't need that in your life. Just clean it up.
I could not agree. I love social media cleanses.
yeah.
So great.
I agree.
I like when people unfollow me. I'm like, great.
Yes. Yeah.
You saved me.
Yes.
The disconnection.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
So
Why
good.
would you want a fake relationship?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I
here.
agree.
Nope.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings either.
Awesome. Awesome. What about your level of spirituality or your spiritual connection?
Yeah.
Anything going on there? And not
Yes.
not necessarily religion, like
Right.
two different things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I've never been a true follower of religion. I have my beliefs, but I've been more of a spiritual person my whole life. I've listened to those cues from the universe, and GYMGUYZ has actually been one of them. It's been crazy how it's just fallen into place. Everything and it's not easy. It's scary, but it's like it's right there. I mean, if the door is open, why would you not go through it? You got to see what's on the other side, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if it's something you've been asking for and wanting. And
Be careful what you ask for.
I know. And now here I am, like doing the complete life transition, and I'm ready for it.
So exciting.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
How about you, Satyavani?
All right. Well, on the physical side of life, trying to rack on muscle during bulking season.
Yeah.
Feeling a little fluffy. I'll be honest. And I know I have to. I have to feel fluffy in order to. But it
Speaks to a lot of people out there.
What was that?
It speaks to a lot of people out there. That
Yeah. It's been
big fear.
Well, you know what it is. After, and I've
For a
mentioned
lot
this
of
to you before.
people.
Yeah. After I've mentioned this to you before, that like after you go through a cutting phase and then you maintain that cut for a while, it's like 8-9 months in that space. And then when you've got 3 to 4 months where you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna, really, I'm gonna lift heavy. I'm not gonna do as much cardio because I'm not trying to go for, the burn. I'm trying to go for the muscle gain. This is the first year where it's been kind of a mind fuck for me. I'll be honest with you, where I'm just sort of like, this doesn't feel right. And so this morning I went to the gym and, it was all legs. I did 6 leg exercises, really going heavy and doing the reps. And that felt good. And I actually felt like I had more energy. Whereas I will definitely say that, when you're going through a cutting phase, and then you maintain it, your body is definitely more efficient, but you definitely don't have that power, at least for me, don't have that power. Whereas today I was like, oh, I can do this, like doing 120-pound deadlifts, whereas like a couple of weeks ago when I was just kind of coming out of maintenance and just going through that weird transition stage, that it was like an 80-pound deadlift felt like a lot. So, so that felt good. So I'm getting used to it. Feel a little tight in the clothes, but I know that's part of the process right now. But I got to cut back on the carbs. I gotta do it. Like,
'Tis the season.
I know.
I'm curious though, why is it different for you this year? You said it's different this year. It was really a mind fuck this year.
Yeah,
but why this year?
Because last year was the second year that I went from lifting heavy and eating heavy, in a bulking stage, and then going into a cut. But this past year's cut was just like at a level I would have never guessed. And so this past spring and summer, like I was just ripped, but I also wanted bigger legs. And just felt super duper efficient. So that transition from last year at this time to this year is just feels very different because I had so much I was going for last year. and then hit those marks. And now it's like, oh, this feels weird now. Like now I feel like am I eating too much?
Yeah.
Am I not working hard enough? Like that kind of thing. So I have some tapes in my head that, and as many of the listeners know, and I've written in my book, like I had disordered eating for about 30 years. And so like went through that whole thing and have like completely transitioned out of that. But like this little like mind thing right now, I'm like, like I'm very observant of like, oh, okay, you can have some tendencies here. So just be aware and all of that. So yeah, that's where it is on the physical level. Energetically, like the sun is out today.
Oh God. Yeah.
God.
Yes.
So as you noted, at the end of 2024,
You are a solar panel.
I am a solar panel. Being a Leo is like I need the sun, and when I don't have the sun, I am just a cranky bitch. So
Thank God we got the sun.
exactly. So today we have the sun, which is wonderful, and I feel that vitamin D vitality. Like I was training early this morning. And I went into a client's house and it was still dark out. And then by the time I came out, the sun was up and the sky was blue. And I was like, yes. Like I just felt, yay, like so joyful. So that feels really good. And then mentally, emotionally, I feel very locked in and very stable. I really do. It feels really good. Like know what the mission is, ready to tackle it in 2025. We've got goals that we're setting for the academy. We've got goals that we're setting for GYMGUYZ. Like that stuff feels really good. Everything is coming into alignment. So mentally and emotionally, I think I've cleaned out a lot of clutter and I'm ready to clean out some more clutter as well, which is really nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Need that.
girl, it's taken a long time to get here.
I know. I know.
Long time. Intuition is on fire right now. Like just like how we met. Like I knew that this was a match and the whole thing. And then it's like, you're coming in and you're doing the thing. And so
it's amazing.
I feel really very connected to everything it is that I'm doing, the purpose in life, what the academy is growing into. And that feels really good. And then spiritually I've gotten back into my Nilakanta meditation practice. And that just feels great. I crave my meditation in the morning, especially when my kitties come and they purr and I meditate with them and it's just lovely. So yeah, it's been good.
Awesome.
Yeah, doing good.
Thank you.
All right. There's our wellness check-in, folks. We want to know how you're doing. So in the comments of the podcast, in the comments on the YouTube channel, let us know what's going on. How are you feeling at this moment, starting in 2025, physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally? Where is your level of intuition and also your spiritual connection? We definitely want to hear from you. And if there's anything it is that we can talk about or questions that we can answer, just make sure that you put it there in the comments so that we can get that back to you via the podcast. So it's good stuff.
So question for you.
Yes, hit me.
What was the sought after body type in the 80s versus what the sought after body type is today?
This is so exciting. I gotta sit up. I gotta sit up. So the 1980s, which was my era, y'all are too young.
Best. No, I was in the 80s.
True. You were in the 80s.
Are we the
Come on
same
now.
age?
Yeah, actually, you both are. Why do I keep thinking that you're like very early 40s?
I don't know.
Okay.
47.
Yeah.
Yep, so are you.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Praj will be 48 at the end of February.
Nice.
It's coming up, girl.
Right around the corner.
For gals who are in their 40s, excellent decade. And I will say,
Yes.
50s, 50s, it's next level.
Yeah.
So 40s are great. But in the 80s, growing up in the 1980s, all of us did, it was definitely that aerobics body.
Jane Fonda.
And we
Yeah.
love you, Jane. We love
Yes.
you.
Yes, we do.
Like so many barriers that she broke down and actually brought, which is interesting, which ties into GYMGUYZ. Jane Fonda and that genre actually were the first pioneers in bringing fitness into the home, However, the body type for that, which I actually put it akin to the yoga body of now, which is thin, usually tall, and not a whole lot of muscle. So it was more of the cardio era than it was the muscle era. Now, nowadays, I'll tell you, this morning when I went to the gym, it ties into this. Seeing like the muscle mamas there, I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Like seeing women like on that squat rack, like deadlifting and really enhancing their physique and racking on muscle. We were talking about at, with our little wolf pack that we have going that lifts together with Holly, the gal who's the rugby player, Iona, is that her name?
I believe so.
Yeah, Iona. Sorry if I butchered the name, but she was on the U.S. rugby team this year in the Olympics, and just a total beast and just a different type of body. You look at a lot of the gals who are in CrossFit, a lot of the gals who race decas, a lot of the gals who race high rocks, bodybuilders, et cetera. Like women nowadays are breaking down barriers as it relates to body types. And I just love everything about it, because every single person's body, when you add muscle, when you are, working the cardiovascular system, et cetera, what it shapes into is just this like beautiful menagerie of all of these different strong body types. So I feel like we've moved from, 40 years ago, from the kind of the wafy, and then in the 90s, you had the whole like Kate Moss era, et cetera, et cetera. We're moving away from that wafy kind of like aerobics body with the leotard and the whole thing to now like women have muscle definition. They've got butts, they've got legs, they've got arms, like there's cut there. I was actually listening to yesterday, I was doing an outdoor walk, and Apple has this thing on their Apple Fitness app called Walking. And so it's basically these different folks who tell stories about themselves that you go on a walk with, right? So I listened to Hannah Waddingham, who plays Rebecca on Ted Lasso.
Oh, okay.
And for those of you that, like, I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan, but for those of you who've ever watched Ted Lasso, she's 5'11", and as she says, I'm 6'2" in heels. Big woman, like just and jacked. Like she looks like a superhero. And she talks about that, because she grew up in like musical theater, and a lot of the musical theater bodies were, shorter, thinner, more wafy, et cetera, where she's got curves, she's got legs, she's got boobs, and really broke down a lot of stereotypes around that. So I feel like the change has just been amazing. So gals, keep lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mindset has changed a lot too about women want to be much more capable.
GYMGUYZ Women Warriors, Dr. Satyavani here, and I'm here to invite you to our Costa Rica Escape for the Woman Warrior this February from the 7th to the 15th, 2025. You are not going to want to miss this. My co-host and beautiful bestie, Prajna Mandavi, and I are going to be leading a fantastic retreat for 7 days. And here's some of the highlights. San Jose, the city, for a couple of days. And then we're going to Jaco on the Pacific side of Costa Rica to enjoy the jungle, the beach, and all of the great food and events that Costa Rica has to offer. So if you are indeed interested, we would love to have you join us this February 2025. You can go to our website, thewomanwarrioracademy.com/empowerment retreats. Tell us a little bit about the adjustments of the Dharma Circle.
Yeah, we did a little bit of a facelift. We did drop the cost. And there is some adjustment. It's going to be primarily online, looking at the videos. We're going to have a quarterly meetup with myself and Satyavani.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we will have a kickoff meeting that will be live with all the participants in January, and we will end with a closing December 2025. But in between, you will be guided through instructional videos, which are top-notch, that actually have student participants in there. You can also learn from them and the questions it is that they ask. And we will have a daily chat so people can communicate with us through the chat. What's also really cool is that you will get a free annual membership to the Woman Warrior Academy online, which also gives you access to a whole bunch of other things, including the Ayurveda 101 course, which is a 6-session online course, Ayurveda 108, 108 days of 8 very diligent practices, and the daily channel, and also the warrior chat. So there's other materials and other access that you have in addition to the exclusive Dharma Circle section of the Woman Warrior Academy online circle. So check out the Dharma Circle. Go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com and you can look for the Dharma Circle right there, and you will see all the new details. That is a fantastic word, Praj.
Yeah, it's just not about looking the part. It's also about being the part.
Yeah, it's empowering.
Yes.
Yeah. Not that I really think women necessarily wanted to be saved in the 80s or anything like that, but I just think that women today are like, no, I want to be able to do anything that I want.
Right. If I have to lift a car,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So, and they're not relying upon a partner or somebody else in their life to do it for them. But I love that word. They want to be able
Yeah.
and capable.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So I think like that's really done a shift. And I think that really leads us into what it is that we wanted to talk about today with introducing Nicole, because she's been here for the past 45 minutes already, and GYMGUYZ and all of these fabulous things that you are embarking on. So, Praj, why don't you lead us off with our questions for Nicole today?
So we always like to get a little bit of background from you. So how has your life story, how can you wrap that up into what has led you to GYMGUYZ?
Sure. I'll try to keep it somewhat brief, but hit the highlights. Some small town girl. I went to kindergarten with the same group of people I graduated from high school with.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
Oh, gee.
I had to get out of that town. It was just something inside of me. I just needed to go explore and see the world and get out of there and live. I didn't want to be one of those people that never left the town. So I started looking at all different ways, couldn't find one other than the military. So I joined the Army.
Damn.
Yeah. I was in the Army. I was counter intel for
Of course you
almost
are.
8 years. Loved it. The military, the Army was the best decision I ever made. It set me up for foundation for just a very capable and able life of just being able to do whatever.
I love that.
I mean, in so many different ways. Not even just the discipline that you earn, but the GI Bill, all the other benefits that come from it. It was just amazing. I got out of the military.
Counterintelligence.
Yeah.
You're kind of a badass.
Love it. I got out of the military, and then I finished my master's degree in security management. And then I decided now's the time to be a police officer. I always wanted to. So I was a state trooper for a couple years.
Did you have the big hat?
I did. I had the campaign hat, the big Smokey the Bear campaign hat.
I love that.
Yeah, I still have it actually.
You got to get a photo of that.
I think I might have one on my phone.
I love it.
But yeah, it was a very interesting time of my life. I'm super glad that I did it. It was not what I wanted it to be and what I thought it was going to be, but I needed to do it in order to figure that out.
Right.
So I have absolutely zero regrets.
How long were you in it?
Not long, a little less than 3 years.
Okay.
So yeah, not too long, but enough to know that this is going to dim my spirit and change my personality and my energy in ways that I didn't really want it to. I felt that already kind of happening in just a short amount of time with just the different things you see on the road. And I just decided it wasn't going to work for me.
Right. Especially having had such a great experience in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I moved on, went into the corporate world. I've been in the corporate world ever since. But I've missed being able to work in the community like I did as a police officer. I missed that sense of service, even though I get a little bit of that in my corporate job now. It's just not the same. I like face-to-face and hands-on and really getting to know people and building those relationships. And that has not been that way in the corporate world at all.
Yeah.
With the coworkers or the people you're serving. It just hasn't been there. So I've been looking for a way out, and I'd wanted to be a business owner. I wanted that challenge, and I wanted that kind of control and to be the decision maker and to pick the good team, not just the team that checks the box. So I just started looking at businesses, and GYMGUYZ was the very first business that my career coach pitched to me because he knew it would be a good fit. And I was just like so uncertain because it was just not a path I'd ever done. I kept making him pitch different ideas. He pitched a lot of different business ideas, and I just kept going back.
What were some of the ideas that were pitched to you? I'm curious.
He knew that it would need to be something service oriented. You know, we worked on our goals and kind of my vision. So he knew it'd be service. So he was pitching to me like swim schools. Swim schools, actually, some of them make a really, really good amount of money. Some of them do. But I didn't like the business model as much.
Gotcha.
I wanted to be able to be more involved, and I wasn't real sure about the brick and mortar piece. And there was just a lot more to it with the business model. But GYMGUYZ just hit all of my boxes. And once I started working with the corporate office and started getting to know the people, I was like, you know what? These guys really have it pretty dialed in. So I just decided I was going to give it a shot.
Tell us about GYMGUYZ. Give us a little background about it.
Yeah, GYMGUYZ is an in-home personal training company. It's a franchise. We go into
from my people, from New York.
Yeah, from New York. That's right.
Represent
from New York. But yeah, it's a in-home personal training company. We go to people's homes. We bring them custom and convenient, creative workouts that's tailored specifically for them and their needs, without them having to go to a gym. So if you want to get in shape of any kind of shape, if you want to work on your balance and your stretching, we can do that. If you want to work on muscle building and strength, we can do that. We've got a team of awesome people. 2 of them are in the room.
Hey.
Everybody's got their own specialty and their own niche, and we can come together and customize whatever that client needs to help them reach their goals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
It's really exciting. And I love that it gives me that opportunity to get back out into the community and meet people and help them reach their goals.
Awesome.
I'm excited about it.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
So why health and fitness? I mean, obviously in the military, there's that component.
Sure.
In the police force, there's that component,
Sure.
et cetera. But like, how does the health and wellness part of it tie into like your values and your goals?
Absolutely. Health and wellness is the root of everything that we are and we do.
Okay. Everybody heard that? True statement, true statement, true statement.
You're not going to get the same lifestyle, reach the same goals, reach that same destination if you're sitting on the couch eating donuts and playing video games all day as you would be if you incorporated some healthy lifestyle tools into your life. To me, it's the root of everything. And it's so easy to get off track. I've been off track. It happens to all of us, but it's still
100%.
there. It's still there. You've still got to have it in your life and have it as a core of part of your foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why is the GYMGUYZ model a good one? Like why, like what makes it successful? Why do you think that versus going to the gym?
You mentioned something earlier today about COVID.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I liked about the GYMGUYZ model is it survived COVID. Because when you can't go to the gym anymore, we can go to you.
Yes.
There isn't as many different issues and securities. We're working with somebody now who's just had a surgery that's altered his life in a way that he would feel it was embarrassing to go to the gym. He really, really, really wants to work out. We're doing that now. I just feel like it offers an opportunity to people who wouldn't otherwise have it. I really want to explore that more, actually, and start maybe talking to some people with disabilities. And I'm a veteran. I would love to help some disabled vets who don't want to go to the gym. There's so many opportunities that we can provide people that a gym can't.
I could not agree more. I actually think it opens up, it not only does it open up opportunities, but it also breaks down barriers.
Yes.
Look, I mean, the reality is in 2025, everybody's going to the gym right now. Everybody's like, we get in shape, new year, new me, blah, blah, blah. And there's also a huge intimidation factor that goes with going to the gym. I think that the GYMGUYZ model, by bringing it into the home, you get a couple of things. You get more of an intimate relationship with the trainer who has experience. They build the rapport with the client, gives them the tools it is that they need based on what it is that they want in terms of their goals. And they don't have to worry about like, like I go to this place and I don't know how to use the machines,
Right.
or I don't know what to do. I don't even know what I want to do,
Right.
et cetera. They have the expertise of somebody that also in that relationship helps to infuse confidence.
Yes.
You're shaking your head, Praj.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. I just, yeah.
This is why you're my master trainer for Gym Guys. I just love this. I don't even have to talk. It's just like, this is her. This is why I hired her. She's got it.
You're very sweet. But I think a lot of it, because like we talk a lot about, and we talk with women all the time, even yesterday. So we held a little 2-hour workshop yesterday on goal setting.
Yep.
And everybody who showed up was a woman, of
Yep.
course. And as we were talking about like establishing SMART goals, et cetera, a lot of the gals reflected back that they wanted to build confidence this year. And that's a huge thing. And confidence, I mean, I even look at you, Praj, okay? Like when you and I met 6+ years ago now, even though like still statuesque and athletic and amazing and all of that, the work you've done that you've put into the gym and like have rebuilt your physical body, the level of confidence that has given you in all of these other aspects over the past 6 years has just been amazing.
Yeah.
And like you literally would not be sitting as the co-host of this podcast if that process hadn't started.
Absolutely.
And like, and it has to start with the physical body. That's why like
Absolutely.
in the Koshic model, it is, we talk about the Annamaya Kosha as the absolute foundation. You've got to get this tuned up.
Yes. You're making me think right now too. Businesses can use this as a tool to improve their productivity in their business.
Girlfriend.
Yeah.
We can show up at lunchtime and teach a class of people, and the business owner will get benefits from it because he just boosted the morale, the teamwork, the everything, the cohesiveness, all of it.
The confidence.
Yes, confidence, all of it.
And less sick days.
Yes, less
Yeah.
sick days. Yep.
Less sick days.
Yeah.
When we get started, teachers.
Please talk to that. Please speak to that. Please speak to that.
Teachers are some of the worst about just putting everybody before themselves. And I would say a lot of teachers lack a lot of confidence.
I could see that.
Especially today, because they just don't have a lot of confidence in themselves.
Why do you think that is, Praj?
Yeah.
Well, they're not given a lot of confidence from kids or from the community. I mean, we're seen as glorified babysitters, really, in a way.
Such bullshit.
Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of teachers feel anyway, that their ideas and what they have to teach are not really seen as that, not necessarily important, but they're just
Valued?
yeah, it's not as valued as I think it's been seen in the past. And I think a lot of teachers, have lost their sense of value.
I feel like a lot of teachers,
they
and I'm going
do.
to say this publicly, I feel like a lot of teachers get bullied. I think they get bullied. I think they get bullied by students. I think they get bullied by administration. I think they
Absolutely.
get bullied by parents. You know, and so they become these individuals in a community that just kind of get ping-ponged around.
Yep.
You're right.
And you know what? Like, if y'all started lifting weights, like, you'd fight back. Like, I mean,
Or quit your job.
right, or quit.
And you
or
know,
quit your job.
and just to become a teacher, you got me thinking about this. You have to have such a huge sense of service and wanting to give.
No different than a police officer.
Right. And at what point do you slow down and give a little bit back to yourself? I think a lot of people forget that piece, or they skip that piece, or they just get so hung up in giving and serving others that it begins to feel normal to get bullied and walked on and
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it's so
doormatted.
sad. Yeah.
It actually should be a 75-25 exchange. It's just like in Ayurveda, when we talk about eating, you eat to 75% full. That's it. When you eat to 75% full, then you've got that 25% that gives you space to be able to metabolize and digest your food, et cetera, get the energy from it. It is the same thing with things like confidence
Right.
and the same thing with service, et cetera. You give 75% to yourself, so the 25% becomes exceptional. And you have that percentage might be significantly smaller, but you are the reserve.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
It's true.
yep. I love this. I love this model.
I do too.
And I have to
I
say,
do too.
I'm really digging the in-home personal training.
Me too.
Like just those connections, that we have with the individuals and their interesting lives. And
Oh yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. And to be able to have the opportunity to go in and help them reach their goals and have more of that healthy lifestyle, which will affect everything for them. It's huge. It's huge.
100%. So we've been talking about how GYMGUYZ helps with breaking down barriers for people. It also helps to serve the different body types. So you started out with the question, Praj, like what was the body type in the 1980s?
Yeah.
Now we've seen this transformation of body types, specifically with women, over the years, where I just love this theme of becoming more able and capable and all of that in so many ways. And so in Ayurvedic science, we have the 3 different constitutions or the 3 different doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And those line up respectively with the idea of ectomorph, which is more of Prajna's style. And then we have the mesomorph, which is more of my style. And then we have the endomorph, which are folks that have, thicker bones that are, like the Hannah Waddinghams of the world that I was just talking about, et cetera. And I think that what I find fascinating about the in-home personal training piece is we have all of these different body types. And I think a lot of the lack of confidence, specifically with women, is they go to the gym, they see somebody who has a different body type than they do, and they start the comparison.
Yep.
Why don't I look like that? I've said this a million times on this podcast. On the ectomorph side, which Prajna has, clearly, she's tall, long limbs, smaller bones. I am never going to look like that. Never going to be 5'9". Not going to happen.
Right.
Just like she is not going to be 5'5".
Well, and if we're looking at if we're going back to the being capable,
Yes.
in order for me as a Vata to be more capable in what it is that I want to do, I have to have structure.
Yes, you do.
I have to build structure because one of my weaknesses or my kryptonite is my joints and building muscle around the bones and the joints.
Yep.
If I don't do that, then I'm going to end up with osteopenia and osteoporosis.
That's correct.
And so knowing that body type and knowing what is going to help that kind of body type is crucial
Agreed.
when you're going to train. That is something that I've finally learned. I'm like, I can do all the yoga in the world and I'm going to have, this same body type, but I'm not going to be able to,
Right.
lift my arms over my head
Right.
eventually.
Or your knees are going to be killing you,
Or my
like
knees-
they used
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
And ever since you have really built your legs
Yeah.
and all of that, that has taken so much pressure
When
off
I go
your
country
joints.
line dancing, they hurt for a day.
Well, of course. I know.
Before it was
A week.
It was swollen for a week, if not 2.
Yep.
So
Very, very different. And I think that that's a really important educative piece. So when we did our in-home assessment of which, why don't you share with the audience the whole process of getting inducted into
Sure.
GYMGUYZ as a client?
Sure.
Yeah.
We offer a free in-home assessment, as you know. So we'll come out to the person's home and we'll go over all their goals, what they're trying to meet, what their obstacles are, any limitations they might have. We'll discuss nutrition with them, and then we'll get into the actual assessment piece where we'll discuss maybe some different tissue types that they're trying to change and that sort of thing. And then we'll do a little assessment, actually test them out and see what their balance is like, how flexible they are.
Movement patterns.
Yeah, movement patterns, checking their form, see how we need to adjust that, just getting a feel for how they are, where they're at, and how we can help them. So that way we can make sure that we're matching them up with the right trainer. Everything is totally customized. It is specifically for that person, and we can't customize it until we really know that person. So we'll come to their house, sit down with them, spend about an hour going through this assessment, making sure they get matched with the right person, and then watch them reach their goals.
Love
it's pretty
that.
cool.
So, folks, this is actually a very unique thing. And so if you are even like toying with the idea of having a trainer come to your home, and for the record, it is not a luxury, friends. Nowadays, these things are necessities. This is your health care. You know, we had Dr. Noah on in 2024 talking about what are the things, he was saying this from the perspective of being a naturopathic doctor, and we were batting it around. Like, what are the things it is that you have to have, you know, in order to maintain your health? This is preventative care. I see in-home personal training as preventative care. And so what's beautiful about it is that you get this whole free assessment. You have nothing to lose by not contacting GYMGUYZ and having us come out and do an assessment. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you could just say, you know what, this is not necessarily for me, and that's okay. Right. But we also provide you with data in a very welcoming and nurturing environment in your home. So if you need to kick us out, you can kick us out. But it also gives us the opportunity to assess the body type, you know, and what it is that they need. So as Prajna was bringing up, this idea of, you know, we know from that ectomorph, that Vata body type, that an imbalanced situation for her is if she doesn't build bone density and muscle around that later on in life, that osteoporosis, osteoporosis is going to be an issue for her.
For a mesomorph?
Yep, for a mesomorph like myself.
You probably don't need to do a ton of cardio.
No. Which is the Pitta body type. We're on fire all the time. We actually rack on muscle pretty quickly, which is, you know, thank goodness. Although I have to say, it feels like the struggle is real right now. But we can put on muscle very quickly. But one of the tendencies that we have to worry about is with that mesomorph, we have a lot of reserves and the ability to really go the extra mile in a lot of things. But if we push it too much, it becomes an inflammatory issue. And so on the side that we have to worry about things, the concerns, inflammatory response is something that my body type has to worry about because I can push and push and push, and then that can create extra heat inside of the body and inflammation accordingly. So that's something I have to think about as I age as well. And then the endomorph, which is more of that, you know, larger bones, bigger structure, et cetera, they don't have to worry about osteoporosis.
They just got to stay moving.
They got to stay moving. Exactly.
It doesn't have to be super intense,
Nope.
but they have to move.
Yes. Yep. Right. And the tendency is to not want to move because they have all of these energetic reserves. They have a lot of bone density. They can tend to have a lot of extra adipose tissue. So the movement part of it is super important because if not, then it can result in metabolic disease later on. So when we go into a home through GYMGUYZ, we get an idea. Now, the client doesn't necessarily know that we know these kinds of things, but as we listen to their goals and we know what their tendencies are, et cetera, lifestyle tendencies, we can build something accordingly.
Absolutely. The other thing that I really love about that free in-home assessment is that they're going to walk away from just that with some knowledge that will help them out.
Agreed.
And they don't even have to pay a penny at that point. They just have us over, do a little assessment, give you some tips, some advice.
Yep.
And they're already on the right path.
You heard it, folks. Like it's a win. It's a win.
Cool.
We also have this, GYMGUYZ also has this very cool van. Can you tell us about the van?
Yeah,
I love the van.
It's in the parking lot.
Yep.
The van's pretty dang cool. It's a little sporty little Ford van, but it's got the wrap on it. It says GYMGUYZ. It's got our 800 number on there. But it's got almost 400 pieces of gym equipment in it. It's crazy. I showed it to you the other day. It's like, it almost looks like it's going to burst when you open it up. You're like, how did all that get in there?
Yeah.
But
we were all laughing the other day. Just like, can we live in this?
I know.
Like, is that possible?
Somewhere. I don't know. You'd have to find a hole somewhere. But yeah, you probably could. But it's pretty cool. It's customized. Everything's customly fit in there. But yeah, it's got everything. We've got kettlebells, we've got jump ropes, we've got medicine balls, there's mats to lay on, there's the plyo boxes, there's agility ladders, there's the
Something that-
battle ropes. There's
A bench?
there's a bench it's like a step, but it also folds up into a bench. There's, I mean, everything. You don't need to go to the gym.
You don't.
You really don't. The gym is basically somehow fits in that little van because they were able to customize it, but you really don't need to go to the gym. You can get a great workout.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. With just the van.
Love in the van.
Yeah.
So when you see it riding by.
Yeah.
you know.
Be sure to wave. We'll honk.
You want to ask our final question for today?
Yes. How is GYMGUYZ helping you fulfill your life's purpose? I think.
Gosh.
It's a loaded question.
It's totally loaded in so many different aspects because we talked about like the spiritual side and the emotional side. And I am always been a believer, we've discussed this numerous times, that when things are right, it'll fall into place. And I am like amazed at how much that has happened with this whole entire thing. I hired someone to be my master trainer and I was super stoked. And then little things started happening. And then he didn't pass a background check, which was really a shame. I really liked the guy personally. But when I met and interviewed Satyavani to be a regular trainer, I was like, man, I wish I would have met her sooner. She would have been much better as a master trainer. And when that guy didn't work, hey, perfect opportunity. It's just everything is lining up. So it's really filling and feeding my emotional and spiritual side.
Love
It's
it.
just, which is something that has been starved in the corporate world.
Oh, that's a really powerful statement.
Yeah, it's sad.
Starved in the corporate world.
It's
And
sad.
we talk a lot about, in the Bhagavad Gita, where you do things without thinking of the fruits of your labor and doing it for service. And I think that's where your whole mindset has kind of gone
It has.
with all of this.
I think as soon as the GYMGUYZ door started to open and I just kind of peeked and then I just kind of put a little toe in and then like now I'm all in. Like, I'm quitting my corporate job next week. Like I can't not do it. I just see so much opportunity and it's not just me seeing it. The universe is like throwing it at me. I can't
That's
ignore
always
it.
what happens.
Like it's so crazy that this was something I've wanted for so long and I put it off and put it off and put it off. But all I really had to do is just open the door a little bit. And then here I am. Here we go.
This is so great.
2025 is going to be a crazy
Oh, it's gonna be a great
with
year.
so many changes for the better.
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Love every minute of that.
Yeah.
So, folks, people who are in the greater Boise area, a couple of things about GYMGUYZ is that you are the only one in the entire state of Idaho.
True.
Nicole is in the Treasure Valley. You have a huge reach. So if you are in Boise, or even if you're not and you want to inquire, how should they find you?
Absolutely. You can go to gymguys.com and just there's a little thing for find your trainer. You could put in your zip code. We are franchise. It's everywhere. It's all over North America. And you can just find your local person. That will just gymguys.com, put in your zip code, and then just follow the instructions. It'll lead you right where you need to go.
And it is spelled just like it is on our shirts today. GYMGUYZ. GYMGUYZ. It's very New York.
Yes.
Also look for the van
Yes.
and also look for us at community events
That's right.
as well.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You'll
And
see us
is there
around.
social media that they can follow?
There is. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I've been really focusing on building those up. I'm also personally on LinkedIn, but you can find us anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is there a specific GYMGUYZ Instagram and Facebook for the Boise one?
Yes, make sure if you want to follow the actual Boise one, it's GYMGUYZ Greater Boise, and that'll get you where you want to go.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited for you, Nicole.
Thank you.
You're going to have a great year.
We're all going to have a great
We're
year.
all going to have a great year. This is going to be so good.
It is.
So, folks, do the free assessment. There is no reason not to. There really isn't. You get to hang out with some cool people, talk about some good stuff, and again, Jim comes to you. You don't have to go there.
Yep.
Just saying. Yep. Which leads us to our segment today.
Try this, not that.
Try this, not that. So, what's the try this, not that today?
Well, didn't have a specific one to set out today, but it always comes up in discussion, and I'm going to go back to your 75-25.
Okay.
You focus on yourself 75% so that you have that 25% reserve. And when you said that you really need this, like you need to be capable. You need to have the energy. You need to have the ability to do the things you want to do in your life so that you have the 25% that you can give the rest of the people in your life. Then you need to call GYMGUYZ, because having that 75% focused on you, it's time.
Right. And it's not selfish.
No. And I think that's the try this, not that. Just try that on.
Yes.
Like, try thinking about, okay, give 75% to myself.
Versus 25%.
Yes. And just see the change.
Write it down.
Yeah.
I would love to see that written down. Like even
Get
for
your
myself.
clever fox.
Yeah. Get your clever fox. Yeah, planner. But I like, what would that even look like if I wrote down? Am I even? I don't know. I would. Yeah, it'd be a good thing to analyze.
Yes. And I just we need so much more of that. Just focusing, try focusing the 75%, the opposite direction.
It is not selfish.
No, it's not. We are all about, as you know, on the Woman Warrior podcast, empowering each of you to live your best life and a life of purpose. So do it. Try that. Try this, not that.
Yeah.
Final piece before we close today is the truth bomb of the week. So this morning I was meditating. I use Insight Timer, for those of you that know it well. It's a very simple app that you can download off of your app store. What's really cool about it is you can get the free version or not. And every day when I tap the app, and I actually just use the timer to do my 20-minute sit, a quote comes up. And the quote that came up today was, "Worrying is betting against yourself." And I was like, boom, oh my goodness, because here we are in 2025. Everybody has these plans. And in the back of our heads, there's this, well, what if? And there's that worry piece. Always remember that worrying, not only is it a waste of time because it doesn't do anything for you, but worrying is betting against yourself. So gals, what do you think about that? Any thoughts on worrying is betting against yourself?
Yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. But you know what? The good stuff always happens when you push through it.
Agreed.
I think that worry is normal for a lot of people. It's an emotion. We have it for a reason, right? But if you don't push through it, the regret of whatever's on the other side is going to be so much worse. Just push through it, work through it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I would also go back to awareness and just being aware of when you're doing it. Does that dog have fleas?
Does that dog have fleas?
Just that awareness of when you find yourself in that space, which I have found myself in that space often. Being aware that, okay, you're worrying about this. Do you really need to worry about this right now?
Right.
And just, the biggest step is figuring out that you're actually doing it to yourself before you can change it.
Self-awareness. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the biggest part of that quote is the idea of betting against yourself. Why would you bet against yourself? Why would you do that? You are the person who has everything inside of you. You are infinite, eternal, and whole right now. Nothing less and everything more. Yeah. So don't bet against yourself. So stop worrying. Doesn't matter.
Also an excellent quote from a movie. The name is escaping me right now, but the main character said, "Worrying just hurts you twice." You're
I
about
love
it now,
that.
and who knows if it's going to happen?
That's
What are you doing?
Right. Just killing yourself.
Yeah. So,
Goodness.
That's funny and true.
Any final thoughts, gals?
No, I love this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so great, right?
This
This is what we do. We just sit around
So
and
empowering. I love
talk
it.
some shit.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Thank you so much, gals and gents who are so smart to follow us. We are so excited for 2025. We appreciate you coming and listening to us, engaging in the conversation, putting comments in, and continuing to pass the podcast around. Please share it this year in 2025 with all of the other women in your life that you think would benefit from this. So that's it for today, and we will be back as always. And in between, may your soul be victorious. GYMGUYZ.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.